Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, some people are just very unjust. And unfortunately, when unjust people have power, then societies are very much not free. Because we all know what is just and what is not just, and the best way to find out is to have something unjust done to us, and we immediately realize that was unjust. That's why this is one of the way you find out if the policy that you came up with is just or not. Apply it against you and see if you feel that that in real life, not just hypothetically. Hypothetically, you can be intellectually dishonest and say, oh no, it doesn't bother me. But when that's gonna affect you directly, then you're gonna feel each and everything that was not really complete and fair done with whatever policy you designed. Now in this case we have again FIFA, Football International Federation, blah 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 blah. That is it's a weasel organization, and the thing is this: once you how should I put it? Once you jumped over a cliff, you will not go back. You will keep going down and in an accelerated way. So once FIFA started imposing its stupidity and its perversities on the population, on the game of football, through its propaganda, and pushed a lot of things that the public don't care about, and they didn't go to watch a football game to see FIFA or UEFA pushing all kind of together we stand, say no against this, drink responsibly, and all this bullshit, among others, displaying all kind of colors and signs and bullshit that have nothing to do with us, with the game. Just you organize a game. That's all you do. Don't tell us how to live. That's not your job. It becomes, it's disgusting. The problem is you see this FIFA, who organized the World Cup, Football World Cup in Qatar. Qatar is a sovereign country, has its own rules, its own traditions, own views on certain events. Okay. Now Qatar, as I said, when you go to someone's house, you respect that the owner's rules, the house's rules. That's out of respect. But, and this but will not negate what I said, will complete it. Because when sometimes you say, well, I will do that, but when you say that, it means you're not doing it. You're going to find a way to do something. No, I'm not going to be that kind of weasel. I'm going to be a different kind of weasel. So, when you respect someone and something, that implies that you will get the respect back from that person. Because if there's no respect, there is an imbalance. That means one must be the master and the other one must be the inferior, the subordinate. Okay? So if Qatar expects, for good reason, certain kind of traditions, rules to be respected by FIFA and in this case by the guests, which is the public, to come over there to watch the games, then they also have to accept and respect certain things that the public comes with. For instance, let's say the Qatar culture doesn't like bald-headed people. For whatever reason, we can consider that as stupid or how we want to consider, but that's their prerogative. Now, will it be a crime? Would it be something that might be offensive, might be okay? You want me to respect your rules? Okay, I don't have to. I will do it because I come over there and I will be respectful, and I would do that. But on the other hand, you have to also respect certain things that I have. You can't demand everything and don't give anything. You know what I mean? So you have to give something. The problem is you have the FIFA said, okay, Qatar, you are allowed to. They could have picked someone else. They could have voted for someone else. But you're going to have this, we decided you're going to have this World Cup over there. Excellent, fantastic. You got the money, we got the honey, and all that. Great. The problem is you can't impose everything. There must be a give and take somewhere. Now, it was the problem with the homosexuality, which I said, well, they don't like that. Some things are illegal over there. People, it's not the right time, right place to go and protest and poke the bear. Now, if you're homosexual and so on, you're not going to go over there and overemphasize that to anger people. You might get in trouble, or the government against their, that's not a good taste. On the other hand, they should not, ban no homosexuals should enter the country. No homosexual should go and watch the games. Really? Close an eye so I can close the other one, so we're both blind. All right, in this case. So what happens? We have people who go to watch the games. And, they dress in different ways. Like, for instance, you have the Swedes, they put their little things with horns, like the Vikings and so on. They paint their faces. You had the Africans dressed in whatever and dancing over there. You have the Brazilians always dancing samba and all that, half naked and so on. They have their particularities. That's what they do. The French dress in a certain way. They bring their big whatever. But they were different people who came with drums. It was the Manolo, the guy from Spain all the time with a big black hat, bum, 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 bum. I don't know if he's still alive or not. There are many people that dress in certain ways because it's like a carnival, like a celebration. It's not about making a political stand. Some people can do that. But, you look like, what the fuck are you doing here, There are some people that make political signs. They go on the beach and they do this, or they put their knee down like a servant. They can be servants. I will not. Or people come and do all kind of, I'm not going to do this. Well, that's disgusting because that's not the time, not the place. The problem is here. We had a game today between England and United States of America. Very important game for both teams, obviously. And the Brits, some of them came dressed as knights, knights, medieval knights, with fake, swords with all kind of metal plates and all that, dressed like, they say, crusaders. Oh my God! To be dressed like that in Qatar is offensive. So offensive is one thing, illegal is a different thing. Now you have your things, we have our thing. So what FIFA did? FIFA banned supporters from being dressed like that and showing up in the stands to root for their teams. This is what FIFA did. So they did it, made it illegal. They said you can't enter the arena if you're dressed like a knight to an English guy. So FIFA bans England fans with plastic swords and shields from the US World Cup game. All right, and this is one example. A guy dressed with, like a knight, because there's a fucking English knight. What do you want? They're proud of that. It doesn't mean that you would, do anything to anybody. These guys, try to get in with the boots, with the back, with a shield. And they say this. English soccer fans have been banned from dressing up as knights in shining armor ahead of FIFA World Cup tie against the US in Qatar because the outfits are considered offensive to Muslims. Now, it says British supporters have dressed up as St. George, the patron saint of England, at international sports tournament for at least 2 decades, but international soccer governing body FIFA says the chainmail costumes are inappropriate in the Islamic host nation of this year's World Cup because they invoke 1,000 years old holy wars between Christians and Muslims. What the fuck? Okay, now, based on that, I'm not going to go, it's just stupid. It said 2 fans dressed as knights were refused entry in England's games against Iran on Monday until they handed over their plastic swords and shields. Crusader costumes in Arab context can be offensive against Muslims, FIFA said in a statement. Fuck you. That is why anti-discrimination colleagues ask fans to wear things inside out or change dress. Anti-discrimination. You discriminate. You discriminate against my freedom of expression. Do you think that those guys went to like this against the Americans to what? To aggravate Americans? Was that the goal? The Americans said, fuck off, what is that? That's a funny looking circus guy. That's what it is. Make me take a picture with him. Bling. Remember, if the Muslims, according to these guys, are offended by that costume because of the 1,000-year-old almost crusades, then that means they should be offended by white people. If we're going to be dumb, let's get dumber. They could be offended by Europeans. Maybe they should criminalize the existence of Europeans. How about that? Should they go to that point? It's offensive that what? Now, let's look on the other side of the coin. Should Europeans do the same thing to them? And they will say, no, because we are the good guys. You are the bad guys. Really? We can just do a few clicks or check just one book, actually from this side right here, and we can go on the world history. And we look, for instance, at Moors in Spain, Portugal. They didn't go over there peacefully. We can also look at, for instance, the spreading of Islam. 7th century, you remember? How was it spread? Let's go. All right? So we know shit. Do we say, okay, you are a Muslim, you should not show up here because it's offensive for my culture? Because your ancestors, I don't know, 500 years ago attacked my ancestors in, I don't know, in how do you call it, in Spain, and the El Cid kicked you out eventually? Is that what it is? I mean, how far? Oh, you have the Turks, again, the Ottomans, they invaded Europe, they got to the gates of Vienna. They were Muslims, they killed, they looted, they've raped, they asked for money, they asked for water, they asked for everything. And that was what? Until the 17th century? So what should we do? Should we ban them? Should we ban turbans? Because they wore turbans? Should we ban, I don't know, long dresses or something? Or burqa or something? Should we? Why not? I mean, if you have the right to be offended for something that hadn't to do anything to you, but you're still there, why can't I? And I'm the bad person. Remember, I will give you a little story. This is how some people think, and you try to reason like the ancient Greeks. No, it's just different. It's a different way of seeing life. I'm gonna tell you. I went in the mountains. I like going in the mountains. So in the mountains, and I met 5 Israelis, 4 men, 1 woman. And you know, when you go in the mountains, you meet them, you walk with them for a while, and then we met them to a little refuge. We spent the night over there. So they spoke English, I spoke English with them, and so on. And very interesting conversation. You look at different perspective. You learn a lot. Then the thing that struck me the most in that conversation, obviously they were talking about Israel and the existence of the Jewish state and the right to exist and all this. All right, no problem, yeah. This was their main justification why Israel has to be where it is, and it shouldn't be Palestinian state or anything like this. This was their argument. It's in the Bible. God gave it to us. God gave us that land. That was their argument. Well, that might have been about 2,700 years ago. So they had that. Well, there's no contract, nothing. besides all those Torah and Talmud, the New Testament, the Old Testament, all that was written hundreds of years after it was, you know what I mean? So if all this thing was talked about, I don't know, 700 BCE, let's say, or 1000 BCE, but I think it's 700 BCE or so, and it was put down on the first time on a paper in 300 BCE, I think, the Torah, I think that's how it was, then they verbally got that for 2700 years. That was their testament, and they were fighting everybody else for that right given to them by someone 2700 years like this. I will give you and your son and the son of the son and these lands. By that thing, they justified their presence in that area. And I was like, huh? And imagine you have to deal with these people now, stay face to face, and a meeting, an official meeting at United Nations, and try to discuss how can we, have a two-state solution. And they start with that. There's no way. There's no way. That's the way these guys, and they're all military, just so you know. Okay? They're all military, and they were, one of them was very, 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 I like the guy. I was a friend with him on Facebook for a while, and then I didn't have a Facebook, and I lost his name and everything. I didn't have contact. He was a great guy. They invited me to Israel. Come to Israel. You're going to be like a king. We're going to treat you well. I'm a little bit skeptical that when I get to Israel, I will ever return from Israel. I'll be like Jesus Christ, So no, I'm not going to go to Israel. But I don't know where these guys are right now. But I'm just saying, there are four men and one woman. And I have my guys with me. So it's not that it's something that I make up or something. But this is the attitude. Now these guys, it's offensive for them for something that occurred 700 years ago, 800 years ago. The Crusades. Well, right? And they still are feeling offended. Man, you can't feel offended. The game right now is not about you. Give and take. No. And this is not the who said anything. It's FIFA. FIFA who organizes the bullshit for this European English game. Soccer, football was created in Great Britain, in England, like the Olympics again. And what do? We invite everybody. We make it with everybody. Yeah, you can say, it's the profit. No, it's the profit out of it. It's not. We can make a European soccer league and fuck everybody else. Fuck off. And that could have been done before, but no, it was moved on. But here right now is politics. So from this game, the same with the Olympics. With the Olympics, ancient Greece made it to European thing. European made it to global. To do what? To have the 1973 Israeli and Palestinian bullshit in Germany, in Munich. To have the Palestinians come and shoot the hostages and get the hostages on Munich, the Israeli hostages, in our games. Fuck you, stay home and fuck yourselves over there in your little fucking scuffles 3,000 years ago problems that you still have, and leave the fuck us alone. We got our problems as well. We don't have to put up with your shit on our turf. We bring the FIFA to you, and then FIFA is doing what it's doing with people. Not the Qatari government, the FIFA, the body of bullshit. And you should see the commercials and what happens in the European Champions League. When they see stop this, say this, do this, say no to this. I say yes and I say no to what the fuck ever I want. Who the fuck are you to tell me? But see, that's the attitude of a free person, or wanna be free. But the other ones are, yes, don't be kind. I don't want to be kind. I want to be true. I want to be true. I want the truth. I don't want kindness. The truth is sometimes is kind, sometimes he's not kind. Otherwise you fuck everything up. If you're kind, you're not going to be just. That's for sure. Because we're not going to hurt the pedophile now. Let's be kind. It's okay. Right? But just be kind. No, be truthful. reality. The same here. You ban the guy that shows over there as a fucking knight. I wonder if some of them look like, I don't want to go in that, fuck it. It's enough I said anyway. So, just I feel like throwing up. I don't watch soccer games. I watch only, I have a few soccer players that I watch, like 2 or 3, and I watch the teams, and I watch just 10 minutes of their games, the highlights, and that's it. I can't stand watching all this bullshit. It's so political. It's like here with the United States with basketball, with all those shirts with this, support this, and this matter, and that doesn't matter, and support this, and anti that, and anti that, hate that, pro that. And people who try to be relevant by expressing political views that, I'm talking about the players, and they don't know shit about anything, but they are, let me bend the knee and suck a dick. Thank you very much. Go to hell, man. It's unbelievable. I want to watch the game. I want to see performance. That kind of performance, not the other one. Do what you do best. Play that ball. Show me your abilities. That's why I'm here to watch you. Not to watch your socks with the cups and all that. I don't want to watch that. All these wannabe Martin Luther Kings without even understanding what the fuck is going on around them. Oh my God. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. And be kind.